Hello, one and all, and welcome to episode 234 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, coming to you on September 28th, 2023, a Monday. Andrew, are you as outraged at a burger, fries, and 3 single malt whiskeys costing $78 as New York Times writers are?
I saw that shit, dude. That's fucking gold. Like, first off, I don't know how he thought he could hide the fact that even if you got like the most expensive burger at that airport, it would have been like $25.
Yeah.
Like, which is an expensive burger, especially when it's airport quality. It probably is not worth $25 at any restaurant. Sure, I'll give him that. The food's expensive. The audacity for him to include the picture of his 4 fingers of dark liquor, you know, it could have been anything, but was apparently about $50 worth of dark liquor, and say like, yeah, man, this country's in the toilet. This shit costs $75. It's ridiculous.
And that picture is cursed. Like, there is an energy to it that is like, this is somebody who doesn't realize they're an alcoholic. You just look at that image. I don't know the name of the guy who posted it. I don't know what's going on otherwise, but like, no, that does not cost $78 unless most of that is liquor, because that food looks like shit.
And yeah, I mean, the obvious choice is that he got multiple drinks. I really do think that he got whatever the top shelf, the highest quality, most expensive scotch that weird airport burger restaurant had to offer, and got like a double of it.
Yep.
I've never gone to a restaurant and been like, yo, give me a double of your like most expensive scotch. I can't imagine it's more than $50. And so like maybe there was airport markup, but still, he bought a lot of expensive liquor to have with his cheeseburger at the restaurant.
There's an article in the Independent talking about it, and the airport has kind of like refuted a lot of it, but basically, this meal just cost me $78 at Newark Airport. That's why Americans think the economy is terrible. So now they've since said 80% of the tab came from the multiple shots of whiskey.
Multiple shots, not like a super expensive shot.
Yeah. They now have the D. Brooks special, burger, fries, and a double shot of whiskey for $17.78, which is how much the burger and fries usually cost.
Holy shit, they're memeing on him.
So that means, okay. So then if he got multiple shots of whiskey, and so it was normally $17. So that's $60 of whiskey. And I'm assuming that means he didn't just buy like a super expensive scotch then. Did he just buy like 10 shots of whiskey at this restaurant?
The alcohol's expensive, especially in an airport. Like it might have only been like 3 or 4 shots. Like
a cheeseburger with fries is $17.76 before tax. A double shot of whiskey is $22. Were that the order, the total meal cost would come to $39.76. Plus sales tax tip, that gets to about $50. So yeah, he likely had 2 double shots.
Shit.
4 shots of alcohol with that burger.
I know that some people are really into drinking at the airport and the plane and shit like that, because both of those are maybe the 2 worst places to be in America, is any airport and on any plane. But like the thought of being like drunk on a plane makes me want to throw up while sober. I cannot fucking deal with that. How do they do it? How do people fucking do it? Not just the money that you're spending at an airport, or God forbid on the plane where it's somehow even more than the airport. But like, how can you get drunk in the worst place on earth, where your head has to be on a swivel the whole goddamn time because everything's changing and people are yelling at you and you got to fight for space, and your tickets don't make any sense and security will like literally kill you and your family if you say something wrong. Like no, not doing it. And then you're on a plane for however long and you gotta piss and maybe there's turbulence and you gotta throw up. This is a fucking nightmare.
I don't think Andrew likes traveling very much.
I don't.
I stick to my original assertion. I think this is David Brooks getting to normal. I think there might be a advanced and high functioning alcoholism happening here.
He's been quoted. The problem with the tweet, which I wrote so stupidly, was that it made it seem like I was oblivious to something that is blindingly obvious, that an upper middle class journalist having a bourbon in an airport is a lot different than a family living paycheck to paycheck. He added, I was insensitive. I screwed up. I should not have written that tweet. I probably should not write any tweets. What a fucking douchebag. Like,
so I guess I'm the bad guy for saying
you're right. I'm terrible. I should get fired. Like, goddamn.
I don't. Fucking weird. As somebody who has had a beer at an airport, wow, at this point, maybe more often than not, of all the times I've flown, I can't imagine doing hard alcohol at an airport because, yeah, Andrew, you got to be on the ball a little bit. You're just looking to take the edge off. That is, I don't know.
I've flown with Lucas twice, and both times he got alcohol.
On the plane or just beforehand?
No, not at the airport.
They are gouging you on the plane. Also,
they're gouging you at the airport.
Yeah, they're gouging you.
They're
both
gouging
ways.
you on the plane. That is
more
so.
Okay,
I think it might be worse in the airport.
No, it's worse on the plane.
Depends on what you're getting. Like you can just get a can of beer, and yeah, like the percentage markup is higher, but the like actual dollar amount extra that you're spending is much higher at the airport. Like if you're buying like hard liquor and stuff like that, cocktails.
I don't get booze on planes. I get the free coffee. I get the free coffee and the graham cracker. That's where I'm making money back on these flights.
Before airplane Wi-Fi was like such a normal thing, the credit card reader that they would bring around for like in-flight purchases wasn't connected to the internet. So it would just log your credit card and charge you when you landed. Mm-hmm. So people had this whole grift of using like canceled credit cards to just like rack up huge bills on airplanes and then
never get charged for it.
Not get charged eventually. So I don't know. That's a fun time.
Ryan, as a fellow young professional, have you gotten the new Slack update and what do you think of it?
I don't think so. No.
Oh, okay. I woke
up.
What
we're doing now? Talking about Slack.
Yeah. I woke up Thursday and my Slack was lavender and also formatted in a way that, boy, that might look great on a tablet, but on a work laptop, it is just not inspiring me to be productive.
I guess I haven't had the update. I don't know. It's exactly the same. I'm looking at this screenshot that they have, and yeah, it's I guess a little different.
So, as someone that's never used Slack, is it like an enjoyable experience, like, or is it just a like fucking messaging platform?
It's a messaging platform. Yeah. It was functional, but they are.
Does it do anything that someone else doesn't? Like, what is the point of Slack? Like, why do people use Slack? What does it do?
It's Discord, but for a professional setting. And now they're trying to make it even more like Discord, thereby defeating the purpose of why like so many offices have Slack.
Yeah. Huh. There's like channels and emotes and React. You know, it's like
Yeah. Can you pog at your coworkers?
Oh, buddy, I got a pog emoji in my work Slack, 100%. Yeah, no.
I make emojis based on like random inside jokes with coworkers.
Yeah.
One of my coworkers has these little stress balls that he bought in bulk on accident and just randomly like hides them in people's stuff. And so one time we found one and my other coworker ripped it in half accidentally. Because he was just like, this feels pretty like it's coming apart, and then just kind of ripped in half. So I took a paper clip and stuck it together zombie mode style, and no one can tell that it's like actually been ripped in half. And then someone took a picture of it because it was just sitting on my desk. And then I took the picture and just took the smiley face of the stress ball and made that into a Slack reaction. And now it's like a running gag that whenever because it's kind of like a tortured smile when you know the backstory. The thing was ripped into shreds. It's because kind of like blank face smile. So yeah, whenever there's something that requires a tortured I'm putting on a happy face, it's a easy reaction. So I don't know. Yeah, it's I think Lucas describing it as workplace Discord is about as accurate as you get. There's like channels, you can have like corporate channels of like, this is the blankety blank dog page where we post dog stuff, and this is the insert company name growth and development channel where we recommend people for jobs, and just shit like that.
Okay.
I'm currently working on a product testing, and so there is one channel dedicated to discussing the product development and testing, and then an entirely separate channel to elevate feedback about said product. That's the Slack experience, Andrew. Like several different unnecessary
You just use Teams.
Yeah, we do.
I fucking hate Teams.
Yeah, it's not great.
That much I will stand by. Like Slack, in that it is just corporate Discord, is very functional and gets the job done. Fucking Teams and all these other messenger style shit, it's bad. Like they don't know what they're doing. It's impossible to navigate.
What are you talking about? It's a calendar and you can chat.
It's great. We love it.
We also love me, Lucas the writer. My girlfriend is back in Los Angeles, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Does that fit into the video game or the other or the movie category?
No, that's just me doing my intro.
Yeah, we're not news of the week yet. That was intro.
No.
Oh, okay.
We love Lucas.
Yeah.
This is the Lucas category.
Yeah. No, he's segued but he was still the intro. That was, I think, what confused you.
No. I think we're in the news of the week section. I think we've got, our categories of video games, TV, movies, Lucas, other, and then breakouts.
Listen, if me leading a professionally and emotionally fulfilling life is not newsworthy, God damn it, I don't want to subscribe to that news and review outlet.
Yeah, Ryan, let the guy go off. Let him feel himself a bit.
Let him puff his chest out.
Got so many feelings in that chest. Just gotta let them out.
There you go.
Like heartburn.
How long until we get that regularly? Or is that mostly genetic?
5 years ago.
What?
I've always had heartburn.
What sets it off?
Spicy foods, cheese, stress.
Cheese?
Well, I'm severely lactose intolerant now, so yeah.
I thought lactose intolerance was like a bowel thing, not like a just heartburn thing, but okay.
They can do both.
Oh.
I think cheese does actually cause acid reflux because milk is acidic.
Oh.
Yeah. So like tomato-y stuff, spicy foods, cheesy stuff. Yeah.
But if milk is acidic, why do they tell you to bathe your hands in milk if you're sweating like jalapeno oil or something?
Because it has an enzyme in it that counteracts capsaicin. So you don't drink milk because it is neutralizing the acid in the spice. It's got a specific chemical in it that goes after the spicy oil.
Friend of the show, Ian, once gave me a pitch that theoretically humans shouldn't drink any milk after their infancy because
no one should. There are no adults in the animal kingdom that drink milk.
Yeah.
It is extremely abnormal. We basically had a weird mutation for a while there that let us do it, and then now it's starting to die back out again, and more people are getting lactose intolerant because it's I think it was just a random advantage that we rewarded because of agriculture.
Yeah,
when
it was
that first
just
started
it was
developing.
a relatively easy source of nutrition if
Yeah.
you were like raising livestock to drink their milk. And so then yeah, like if you were able to tolerate it, in higher amounts, then you were more likely to not starve and to grow stronger and shit like that. And now we don't really need it.
Yeah. And there's a reason that it develops later, like the lactose intolerance is just because, yeah, like kids, it's fucking hard to feed a bunch of kids. Like you were having like a dozen children. So the kids who could tolerate milk, that was what mattered the most. Not so much once they get into like their 20s and it's a little easier to feed themselves.
Talking to some scrawny boys right now. Did your parents drink glasses of milk with dinner?
Oh yeah.
I drink glasses of milk with, oh, you mean
Right.
like it's normal for kids to do it, did my
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
They drink skim, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
is like
milk.
that's not, let's be honest. It's not fucking milk.
You're doing that for flavor, and like I'll admit it.
The milky flavor.
Just a tall glass of
depending on the
milk
meal.
with an ice cube in it.
My parents did put fucking ice
Yeah.
in milk. That is
It's
disgusting.
so gross, man.
I never got behind
skim
that.
milk with like filled with ice. Like
Yeah.
it's just like there's milk flavor and water. It's gross. It's fucking awful, man.
I never got behind that. Like ice in the milk. I was like, bro, no fucking shot.
I discovered whole milk when I was like in high school. Like I never had it before then. And I was like, oh my God, this is so much better. And my parents treated me like a pariah.
We were 2% my entire life. It was all 2% all the time. That's what we were drinking. And then we got to college and not so much.
I've been using Spotify's new feature to include questions to each of these podcast episodes for a while now. Even if this isn't the episode title, it will definitely be the question. Let us know, listeners, what entree pairs best with iced milk? Very curious.
If you ask my parents, like pizza and pasta were like, that's a milk pairing. They were like, you can't eat pizza without milk.
When the moon hits your eye,
yeah.
like just a waiter comes out with a chilled bottle of milk.
Right.
I mean,
like as a kid, I never questioned it. And looking back, I'm like, yeah, why though? Like Italians have a rich history of milk. Like,
listen, as a 28-year-old, I hear that and I'm like, oh yeah, you pair that with a nice red wine. But yeah, you don't want to drink in front of your kids. What the fuck do you drink with spaghetti? Water?
Yeah, fucking water. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
drink water.
I got to college and I was like, why, what? I'll just drink water. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah, dude. People like I've noticed when I was a kid, I didn't notice this because I was always having milk or orange juice or soda because I eventually drank a lot of soda because my parents drink an ungodly amount of soda. No one ever fucking just has a glass of water.
Dude, that's fucked.
I drink like 3 or 4 of these a day.
Yeah.
Like I'm so thirsty all the time. I need so much goddamn water. And I look around and all these fuckers aren't drinking any of it. Like, drink the goddamn water.
That's me.
There's a genre of an adult in their 50s and 60s now. Coffee in the day, beer at night. It's a good system.
It's not a good system. That's so bad for you.
I think diet soda is huge with people in like their 50s and 60s.
Yeah.
They were marketed so aggressively of like, you can drink this like water. Like this is not necessarily good for you, but this is the same. It's not hurting you at all. And like I guess like they've been doing it for like 40 years, but yeah, no, like I have coworkers who will literally drink like 4 diet sodas a day, like in the office, just in the office. And like, when they're going home, they're drinking more. Like it's an epidemic, honestly. Like I feel like that's going to be the next great. And I mean, like it's probably the single biggest contributor to the obesity crisis in America is sugary sodas. So yeah, I don't know, man. Like I think our generation is more similar to like me and Andrew, just like fucking chugging water all day long. Like you just have a water bottle with you and you are constantly drinking.
Like,
like that's the way to do it. When I'm at home, I got a nice cup of water that I just sip from all day. And when I'm at the office, I have a water bottle that I just sip from all day. Like I don't know. And you just stay hydrated. And then some people know, some people just don't. And I don't get it.
That being said, nobody better ever get me one of those like gallon-sized water bottles. That's like, oh, here's the exact amount of water you're supposed to drink in every day, and then like encouragement at each notch of where you. No, don't turn your hydration, don't turn your bottling needs into a bit. Just drink water.
My coworker has one that has times of day.
Oh,
And it's
Yeah.
like you got to get to this mark by this time. And it's all bullshit, by the way. Like the whole you require X amount of water per day is completely made up. Like it varies greatly from person to person, their activity level of that day. Like it is just complete fabrication that you need X amount of water. You just drink when you're thirsty. Like you,
Ryan and
no
I,
reason.
huge water guys. Like
Yeah.
we're drinking so much water. Lucas, I hope you're in on this gang as well.
Oh, buddy,
Water,
I think I'm drinking
water
more
gang.
water than anyone I've ever met.
Wow.
Damn.
The gauntlet.
Those are fighting words.
The gauntlet has been laid
Are
down.
we about to have a water off?
Yeah.
We're
all hydro homies, which is the unproblematized version of the original subreddit community.
We're water sportsmen.
God.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It's really, really fucking bad and I want to die, but that was good. Yeah, like I saw a guy at work the other day because I was in the office, and he had a clear it might have been more than a gallon. Like this is a huge fucking dude, and it looked huge in his hand. It was clear and it had black Sharpie lines drawn on it, just filled with water. And I know creatine too, but
yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah,
like if you that's the vibe is the gym bro with the torn sleeved shirt that like the sides got torn too, so it's basically like they're wearing like a weird poncho that connects at the bottom.
Yeah,
and then they've got a literal just milk jug that's been emptied out.
He's got a Borg. He's got a Borg.
Exactly, it's a Borg of water because they're trying to get their creatine pump on, and they really need to bulk up on that water weight.
You know what? I spoke out of turn before. If you're the kind of adult who is voluntarily doing 2-a-day workouts, like if that's your lifestyle, go with God, get weird about it. You're already a maniac in my eyes as somebody who works out a fair amount. And yeah, you know what? If that's what you got to do, if you got to moderate your creatine intake by the hour, fair, you're committed.
Can you do that though without steroids? Like realistically, can you actually work out twice a day for a significant amount of like time?
I mean,
weeks in a row.
A significant amount of time, I would say, without like, I don't know. It's possible. It's really difficult. I mean, because I'm sure some of these people are like, yeah, I go for like a 5-mile run in the morning, and then at night I go and lift weights.
Right.
Like,
that's not bad.
That's fine. Yeah. You're talking about like a 2-hour weight session in the morning and then another one at night.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
steroids shit. Like that's how people.
You need something to make your body heal fast enough.
Yeah.
That's how people actually get ripped on steroids. Is they're just working out twice a day, 6 times a week, like 3 times a day, sometimes even.
My only defense of that will be, well, if it's either working out or heavy drug use, maybe people are working out in their play. But that case, I think would be more like, running 5 miles and then doing a weight set in the evening or something like that.
There was a guy on my football team who will obviously not be named. And it wasn't the year that like we were really good and I was a significant contributor to the team, so I don't feel as bad about it. Who got kicked out of the gym because he was doing 2 workouts a day, and like the faculty kind of was like, we kind of know why you're doing 2 workouts a day, my guy. Like, let's make it a little less obvious here, right? Like maybe you just stick to 1 workout a day and you can work out every day, and people will be less likely to do investigations into how you're able to do this. Like, yeah.
It never crossed my mind how that might happen sometimes. Where like
he was fucking scary, man. Like that dude could go off on a fucking dime. Went into the Marines.
Oh,
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Actually, I take it back. He went into the Air Force, but not like to be a pilot, to be like a door gunner on a helicopter.
Oh God.
Which I didn't know was an Air Force job, but yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
if it's an Air
remember.
Force helicopter, then yeah.
Right. And they're just like, yeah, that guy, he went on to be a fucking door gunner. Like he's literally the guy
He's
from
the
fucking
get
Full
some
Metal
guy.
Jacket.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is the how do you like shoot innocent women and children? Oh, it's easy. You just don't lead them as much. Like it's yeah, I don't know. That man scared me. That man was something.
The
He always had his nose split open because his helmet was so tight,
oh
and he was a
God.
wrestler. So like all year round, he would just have a red streak on his nose where it's split open. Like
That's a fucking bit. That's
Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
If you were to if you were to costume an actor like that for a sports movie, you would get a note like, "Hey,
Put a
you're
scar
leaning
or a
into us
band-aid
too
on his
far."
nose bridge. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he didn't wear any band-aids or anything. He just let it ride.
We had in our high school, we did have a bunch of guys on the football team doing steroids. The thing is that the football team was also bad, and none of these
Yeah, what the
guys doing
fuck?
steroids were like incredibly jacked. Like
Yeah.
obviously by my standards, they were like really ripped, but like they were doing fucking roids, and they didn't have anything to show for it.
Dude, if you looked at a picture of my team in high school, we were good. Like we were really good. We were God, we were like a top 5 team in our division in the state, like my senior year. Fucking just a bunch of noodle arms. Like straight, like we were skinny as fuck. Like our heaviest offensive lineman was 200 pounds. And he
Damn.
wasn't like chubby. Like he
Right.
was just a normal looking dude with a little extra muscle. Like I was 200 pounds and I was wide receiver like that. I was as big as our heaviest lineman and I was split out 10 yards. Like we really did not look imposing at all. But like that's why why Army and Navy and the service academies for so long ran the triple option, is because you can kind of get away with not being as big or as athletic, and you can, if you execute well, you can do it. And yeah, no, like it's kind of weird looking back that my senior year when we were good, I don't think anyone was on steroids. I don't think anyone was on anything like creatine and shit like that. The like borderline legal stuff where it's like, you might be getting a little edge, but no one's gonna say anything. Like,
Hey teens, if you're listening to this, first off, why? Second off, do whatever you need to. Do whatever you needed to get into a place with your body where you like it. Maybe
Except
if you're
steroids.
maybe if you're below D1, don't do steroids. Maybe
no,
it's not
I feel like we should take a stand on this. Don't take steroids if you're 16 years old. Like don't do that shit. That's fucking bad for you. This is not controversial.
if you're borderline gonna get recruited to go to a genuine FBS school,
if you have a legitimate future playing that whatever sport it is that you're doing, I guess that's a gray area. That's a do whatever you got to do to like make right with your future and your family and all that shit. Whatever. If you're just a fucking guy on the wrestling team, don't take steroids. That's bad.
You're bad. You're a bad person. Make sure your parents are involved, which is fucked. But like, I don't think you should be taking them behind your parents' backs. That seems like a terrible way to die from tainted drugs. Like, it should probably be on the up and up. I mean, it's not because it's taking illegal performance enhancers, but
or at the very least, how it is. Or at the very least, your doctor, if you have that relationship with your doctor.
No, they'll report your ass.
Yeah, you're a minor. If you're a minor, you nothing goes back.
They have obligations.
Yeah.
Like,
all right.
No, and look, if you're a fucking full-grown adult and you just want to get jacked, like steroids are not what they used to be. Like we've solved steroids.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about all the side effects and shit like that. Those are from like 90s steroids. Like that was 30 years ago.
I mean, there's still shit like Tren and all that stuff. Like the hardcore steroids that people are using like at the highest level of like weight building and stuff like that now. Those are still, I mean, maybe not as dangerous, but those are still like very dangerous. Even in like monitored
mitigate
use. Yeah.
There's ways to mitigate every single risk to such a degree that like, I mean, yeah, like getting super buff is risky. Like that carries a lot of health risks, even if you're not on steroids.
There's
like,
a solid chance your bones just might not be able to handle that level of muscle mass, like
it's not
in the
usually your
long term.
bones, it's your soft tissue.
Oh,
It's all
yeah.
your ligaments and your fucking tendons.
And your blood vessels.
Yeah,
Ugh.
you can't make that stronger by working out. Like that's just, it's gonna start breaking down way faster if your muscles are way bigger than they were ever intended to be. By the way, I looked up the guy on LinkedIn and it's not fucking focusing because of course it's not. Hold the phone, gonna uncheck that. And you'll notice he is currently an AC 130 instructor. Man literally is playing Call of Duty in real fucking life. This is scary. He's a scary guy.
He presses the make everyone within a certain radius die button. Like,
yeah, that's not really a door gunner so much. That's a shoot hellfire from 20,000 feet.
We're gonna have this conversation again in 5 years, and this dude is gonna be like, "Oh wow, he's running his own mercenary company out of Denver. Like this is, okay."
I went into the Marines and I got an AC 130 and I decided to keep it. Now I'm a superpower. I just fly around and get what I want.
Yeah. I sell my services for a fair price.
I think I have a weird job and a weird lifestyle, but that is advanced. Okay.
AC 130 instructor. Like, that dude literally played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 at the height of its popularity and went, "Oh shit.
I'm going to do that."
That's me. I'm in the plane.
Do you think you could go back to Call of Duty after doing it in real life?
It depends, dude. Some of those guys get real fucked up. Like it's weird to be. It's the same thing as drone pilots. It's weird to be so removed from, like, knowing in your heart of hearts that you are pressing a button that is ending human life, and like you're kind of doing it from relative comfort. Like a little less so if you're on the AC 130, but like you're never in any real danger. On that, in the same way that a drone pilot is never in any real danger. Like no one can shoot down an AC 130 that the United States is in active conflict with. Like, yeah, that's it's kind of fucking wild.
Yeah, like it is not a fight. Like I don't know what the levels of PTSD are, but like, yeah, there's being up close in the shit and like seeing things happen and like seeing people die in front of you and, you know, get hurt and all that kind of stuff. That'll fuck you up in a specific way. But like, you might be able to just ignore all of that if you're like, I didn't kill those people. I just looked at a screen and pressed a button. And that's fine. Like,
I don't know. You read a lot of articles. I think that those people are real fucked up. In like it's not necessarily like true PTSD. In like
it's just it messes up their brain.
I am
kind
grappling
of thing.
with this mentally, like really struggling with the idea behind this because it's such an abstract. PTSD is so primal. Like it literally was to protect ourselves from that type of trauma. Like when we were fucking getting chased by lions and shit. Like now that's not primal at all. Like now you're just deeply psychologically in the new brain, like grappling with your own actions.
Unless you can just buy the rhetoric, unless you can just decide. I mean,
that was fine. They were terrorists.
Yeah, no, I'm saving America, the best country.
I protected the borders of America and everyone living in it by leveling that school.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think that's what you can tell yourself, and you can try to bottle it up, but I don't think it's a fully effective thing. That you read the articles about the people who do it, and they don't seem like they're doing great. That's for sure.
The Writers Guild of America is doing pretty great, though, as they've seemingly reached a tentative agreement with studios.
Yeah, they fucking did it. It's over.
I don't think we have details yet. I don't think those have been publicly released, but Adam Conover and the other Writers Guild top brass seem to be genuinely enthused by it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you know that this is done, is because they're all fucking lighting the victory cigar. So it's like you can't quite walk that one back. Like if you're gonna wave the Hitler kowtowing newspaper, peace in our time. Like we've done it. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm curious when we see the details, how they bridge the AI element of it all, because that seemed like a no-go. And then like, yeah, some residuals on streaming based shows. It's going to be interesting.
Which I think that I don't know if there's a way for streaming platforms to do that without releasing how many people are actually watching these shows, which has been a closely guarded secret since the inception of streaming.
They find out that it's like 20 people and the whole thing just fucking falls apart.
It's been falling apart, honestly. Like the subscription model has been basically proven to not be profitable anymore. Like you saw that Amazon Prime is now adding ads to their basic tier. Like if you just have the Amazon Prime delivery service, you will have ads on their streaming service. Like you need to pay like $3 a month extra to remove the ads. So it's like, I think everyone at the same time realized, oh fuck, we don't make money in this model. We need to find a way to make more money. And whether it's cracking down on password sharing or adding ad tiers, like I don't know. Yeah, and no, there's no doubt that they were being propped up for years.
And like I'm torn because the responsible consumer, the like ethical person in me has the reaction of, oh, there should be ads on this. There should be ads if that means the people creating these products, creating this media are able to be paid reasonably, at least.
But that money's not going to them.
I was going to say that doesn't mean anything that the people will be paid reasonably.
They've already made the product.
Well, that's the hope with this new contract and them getting residuals from viewership on streaming platforms. But then the other part of me is like, well, that's not what I was fucking promised when I signed up for this. Like the pitch of Netflix as a streaming platform was, hey, you get whatever junk we have on here for what was even the original subscription, like $8
yeah, it was like $7 or $8
and no ads, and like that subscription,
no ads, and everyone within your county was able to use your account and watch it.
And like it's the in-shitification of it. And like I understand like a part of this is happening due to labor organization, and like that is,
I disagree. I don't think that residuals has anything to do with ads. You could still pay out residuals even if they're not serving ads on the content. Like you just pay it based on percentage of subscribers gained, or like you find a way to tie it to revenue in a different way than like the traditional model.
But then the company would be getting less money, and they aren't willing to do that.
They don't want to do that. But like again, it's not labor's fault that they're like being like, well, wait, why are you not held to the same industry standard of every other like company in this industry that's been negotiated for the last 100 years? Like it really doesn't necessarily have anything to do with ads. So no, fuck the companies. They don't get to be like, oh, well, we're serving you ads because we're now having to pay more. It's like, no, you got away with shit for decades, and you were Wall Street's darling for fucking literally a decade and just got endless money while you attempted to put everyone else out of business. And now it's time to pay the piper because you failed. Like you didn't make it. Netflix, like I listened to the Behind the Bastards episode on WeWork, and that was the idea for WeWork, is basically like, we are going to get so much fucking Wall Street capital that we can price out all of our competitors in the short-term leasing space, and then we'll be the only game in town, and we can start raising rent and shit like that. The monopoly tactic. That's what Netflix was fucking trying to do, and they just didn't make it in time. Like their window closed before they could price everyone out, and then everyone else made their own streaming platform, and now we are where we are. Like it didn't work. The model was never intended to be standalone successful. It was just, hopefully we make it to the point where we can start charging more and people won't have anywhere else to go. So, and then everyone else copied them. So now people do have other places to go, but they also have the same issue as Netflix.
Right.
So we're kind of in this weird inflection point in the industry that makes no sense.
The streaming industry is so diversified at this point where, and I'm not the first person to make this point, but it's like, the whole idea behind like the original, Netflix model of like, yeah, you don't have to pay $80 a month for TV. You can just pay like $8 a month for Netflix and watch as much as you want. But when they were the only thing to watch, that was okay. But now if you want to be engaged in all these shows that are coming out, you have to get Amazon and Netflix and Hulu and Disney Plus, which I know they're the same thing. Who fucking cares?
They're not. They're two separate subscriptions. You can bundle them, but they do cost.
I know.
more.
Some things are like they go back and forth between the two.
Right.
Like there's Apple TV and all this shit, HBO Max or just Max.
Yeah,
like,
just Max.
Yeah, and they all cost about the same amount of money, and if you get all of them, because like you kind of have to if you're like trying to see everything, that's like $200 a month. I mean, it's like $100 a month.
I think it's like 100. It's about the same as a cable package. I know you're making that point, and a lot of people have, but I think that the point that misses is it's 50% of their value promise. Like half of the value promise is like you get the content and you can watch it as much as you want, but the other half is when you want. Like it's the on-demand aspect of it. So people who are like, we just reverted back to cable. It's like, well, we reverted back to cable, but it's now on demand. You can watch it whenever you want. Like you can turn on your favorite show when you have time to watch it. You don't have to do any DVRing. You don't have to do anything else. Like if you turn it on, something will be on. You don't have to fucking channel surf through ridiculousness repeats on MTV and fucking like you can just you can constantly have what you want to watch when you want to watch it. So like even if that is where we are and that's like where the industry settles, is that there's just a fragmented bunch of streamers that you need to subscribe to, that's still better than the old cable system. And for the most part, like you can pay for ad-free tiers, no fucking ads. Like cable used to be you pay $100 a month and still get served ads. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It is definitely an improvement, but yeah, it's a frustrating setback to where, it was basically just Netflix and a little bit of Hulu for a while there, and you could watch everything.
This has also been a point for a long time with all of these streaming services. You pay however much you pay per month. And I feel like for the most part, most people are just watching like maybe 2 shows at any given time on that platform. Like I will go 6 months without opening Netflix because there's nothing that I want to watch on there. And there's hundreds and hundreds of shows and hundreds of movies. Most of them aren't worth a damn. And then there's a bunch of stuff on there where it's like, yeah, hey, some of you guys might want to watch The Shining at some point. That's a good movie. We paid a ton of money to put this on our streaming service so that you can watch it at some point. So once every 5 years, you can come and watch The fucking Shining. And you're going to pay $8 a month or $15 a month, whatever, for 12 months a year for 5 years.
That's the next front of the streaming wars. Is some people are already doing this, is just having people rotating through the services and just subscribing to one for a month, canceling that, subscribing to another the next month,
watching everything,
and you watch everything
that
you had that had built up when you subscribed to the other platforms in that month, and then you move on to the next one. I think it's Peacock. I'm trying to remember. There's a service that like once you unsubscribe and stop paying, it does not let you like open it back up for like 2 years or something.
My god,
they're really trying to like crack down on like because that's just what they noticed is like when we do our big releases that are popular and everything, people don't fucking stick around and we don't get more money. So make your decision, but we're not going to let you sign back up.
No one tell them how easy it is to create a new email.
Yeah, exactly.
No one tell them that.
Yeah,
I'm sure that they're thinking about it. They're finding it out. Like people didn't think that password sharing crackdowns were possible, and now it's all IP and location based. Like they're gonna find a way for sure if that becomes like a genuine industry trend of finding a way to crack down on people rotating through all the platforms.
It just, I don't know. Granted, I was a teenager when a lot of this was happening. My sense of the world and politics was not as formed as completely as it was now, but it's just a bummer, I think, that seemingly every like major tech innovation or disruption from our childhoods, from our teenage years, turned out just to be a scam down the line. And maybe they didn't start out like that, maybe
It started out as an attempt to become a monopoly, an attempt to become like, Facebook, basically, like completely upset the industry, become so dominant that you're the only game in town. And then
it was never a
make
secret.
billions.
They were talking about that openly in the public, like when Netflix first came out. They're like, we are going to do this, and that's why we are worth so much money. We are going to be the only thing to watch, and as soon as everyone else shrivels away and dies, we're going to raise the prices.
Think about how much money we'll make then.
Yeah.
When we're the only game in town, like openly, parading monopolistic tactics, which, it's not a scam per se. Like, there are natural monopolies that do develop by nature of like one company upsetting everyone so much with their excellent idea that
everything else
the
becomes
entire
obsolete.
industry. Yeah, that happens. It's not healthy for that to happen to the market. It's not good for consumers in the long term. But like, it's not necessarily a scam. It's just that was their tactic, and they failed. They bombed. They failed to understand that, like, oh wait, we're kind of like this weird hybrid of tech and media, and tech sure has some deep pockets. Like, if Amazon and or Apple ever get in this game, we're going to have competitors that are even bigger than us. And oh boy, some of these legacy conglomerates might start to team up to try to take us down, a la Disney Fox merger. And a lot of shit went down over the last 5 years. That's basically been like, all right, now you have fucked it.
I didn't put this in the planning doc, but Crunchyroll had acquired anime merchandiser brand Right Stuff. I forget if it was late last year or earlier this year. They just announced that they're shutting down that brand. And like now just go to Crunchyroll if you want to buy a waifu figurine, but not too sexy of one. That they created a whole separate imprint for that can't be traced back to them unless you're as keyed in, unless you're as much of a freak about this as I am. And it's just, oh wow, this is a late stage capitalism, huh? This is these thang's thanging. I don't
Nothing
like
gets
it.
by anyone. Like, it's too late in the game. It reminds me of like when we're talking about Oppenheimer, and it's like that was a team of brilliant people who came together to do a crazy thing. But like in the early days of atomic research, it was like a couple people would do an experiment and it would work, and everyone's like, holy shit. And nowadays, if you try to do an experiment on atomic research, it's like hundreds and hundreds of people working together to make something actually happen. Like, like back in the day, it was like some genius was like, hey, what if we made a cartoon mouse and he was cute? And then everyone was like, oh shit, this is amazing. And nowadays it's like hundreds of people coming together to analyze every single fucking trend and like eke out every single decimal of a percent to try to like make sure that they have a competitive edge. Like, it just doesn't work that way anymore. We've gone too far. We need to revert back.
Speaking of competitive edges, Microsoft lost one by accidentally leaking a bunch of internal documents, revealing that it's eyeing, a bunch of stuff was revealed, but what I found interesting was that they're eyeing up 2028 to release next generation hardware, and it shined a light on their acquisition processes, how much they paid for some companies, how much it was to get certain games on Game Pass. And also revealed very weird and curt conversations about how, hey, what if Microsoft bought Nintendo? Can't you imagine a bunch of suits at Microsoft thinking that would be a smart move if they bought Nintendo?
I loved the way that it was phrased of like Nintendo brass like does not yet realize that their best interest is being acquired by Microsoft, but they will. Like, what the fuck?
No, you don't get it, gang. If Nintendo was acquired by Microsoft and only put their games on consoles that there are fewer of them in circulation than Nintendo's current console, that's better for them. That's better for them in the long run. They just don't get it yet.
It's crazy. So this all happened because they like were being investigated or sued?
Yeah, they were supposed to submit a bunch of documents to the FTC, and they did, but they sent the shareable link to like the collection of documents that they needed to submit on like a public version of the FTC website
Hmm.
instead of the like private channel they were supposed to go through. So they just like
Amazing.
posted a link to like all of their internal shit, like just on the internet.
The FTC response to this was less reported on, but also pretty funny, where they immediately got in the public and said, "This isn't us. We didn't fuck this up. This is on Microsoft. We're not getting owned. We're not getting owned right
we
now."
didn't do this. I mean, yeah, all the MGM shit. Like, I feel like hacking is on the front of everyone's mind right now, and then just like, nope, no, that was just them. They just simple human error happens all the fucking time. It's incredible.
Very much. What's not incredible though, a couple of longer running and to different people in this podcast appreciated internet projects. For me, Let's Fight a Boss, that's dead after an extended hiatus. That's a bummer. Achievement Hunter is dead too. Andrew, I think you were more into this.
I was into that.
No, it was
Ryan.
you both, I never watched Achievement Hunter.
I was way into that. Andrew was into Funhouse.
All right.
Which they're not doing great.
Well,
I don't know about like what happened with Achievement Hunter. Like I'm sure their views just went down like the rest of Rooster Teeth's shit did.
Ryan. I think Ryan was
just one guy.
I mean, like Adam Kovic was real bad for Funhouse. So now imagine if you just add the whole pedophile underage fan aspect into that. Like I don't know if that's super recoverable.
Yeah, but they're all, or at least most of them, are still with Rooster Teeth, and they just made a new channel called Dog Bark. It's not Achievement Hunter anymore. It's called Dog Bark. I think it's going to be like mostly the same shit. I think they just needed to rebrand and like get away from that, like, that, association. I know a lot of them are, at least Funhouse is focusing on like YouTube first stuff and like subscriber based stuff where you get like more videos and behind the scenes stuff and like live streams. They're streaming a lot now. And like some of the things they've said are like, hey, we need more subscribers so our channel doesn't die. Please help us keep our jobs. Like, shit. It's like, oh, this is bad. Things are bad over there.
Yeah. No, Rooster Teeth in general, just yikes. It was really fun. Like as a high schooler, it was just like, damn, this is like just endless content of just people that are fun and they seem young and full of energy and it's great. And then you grow up and you start to learn what's actually going on. And you're like, fuck me, man. That's wild. Like I really wanted to work for them, and damn,
almost
hard to imagine. Yeah, no, I was involved in talks for internships and shit like that. Like it was a potential alternate pathway that I was just really excited for, and yikes, just really did not go well.
It dodged a bullet, apparently.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, man. The scandals, it's just insane.
The internet's growing up, and for better or worse, I guess.
For better. I mean, yeah, you're right. For better or worse, because it's definitely different.
I would argue that the growth of streaming is tied to the growth of the internet, and that's also better or worse. Also, speaking of yikes, it turns out Sam Bankman-Fried's Stanford professor parents were probably in on all of FTX's scams. They just knew they were co-running that company essentially.
The Behind the Bastards episodes about Sam Bankman-Fried was like his dad was a professor of ethics, and you're like, haha, that's so funny that he was so unethical. It's like, no, he was a professor of corporate ethics, which is basically just a part of the law.
How to get around ethics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You just say, here's how you break the law without breaking the law so you don't get in any trouble. Like that was his whole job. And it's like, so in other words, like he was definitely in on it and was like from the beginning helping them figure out how to run this shit. Because they were all a bunch of stoner losers like trying to like create a weird utopia on an island. Like someone had to know a little bit about how to actually make a multi-billion-dollar company run. So, yeah, big fucking shocker there.
And this last one, I'm actually really interested in y'all's opinion. The NBA has created new rules for for resting players during the regular season. Now teams cannot let all-star players sit out for more than one game at a time, and only one all-star level player can rest per game. Was this done as a negotiating tactic with the NBA's talks over TV contracts looming?
I mean, it's just like the fact that basically fans can't stand it. Like, imagine buying a ticket to watch the Bucks play and Giannis just doesn't play because he's a healthy scratch. Like, they're just like, oh, we're resting him today. Like, that would be a fucking slap in the face. Like, you might have spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that ticket, and then he doesn't even play. Like, it happened in soccer with Messi, where like every single one of Messi's games, like the cheapest ticket was like $400, and then there was a day where like it was just like, we're resting him, and there was a stadium packed with people that paid at least $400 just to watch Messi play, and then he didn't play. Like,
they didn't give a shit about those teams. They just wanted to be able to see Messi, and there was like a whole thing where like people were like going on their way to the game and like at the stadium, they like checked his Instagram, and he was like in Miami. It was an away game that was in like Georgia. He was in Miami. He's like, got my favorite pizza.
Yeah.
And they're like,
what?
I don't know. Sorry, that made it real for me. The idea that Messi right now is being carted around America on a bus, more than likely, to go to. You think they're flying?
No.
Absolutely.
If not, Messi is getting the private jet, like on his own. Like, dude, the stuff they did to get Messi to the US, like
the Saudis were going to pay him like $1 billion.
Oh, over. I think it was $2 billion.
Oh,
yeah. No, Messi was going to make like something insane, like $400 million a year or something. Like, no, the only way they could get him is like the entire MLS is paying for his contract, because Inter Milan alone would not be able to do it. He has a percentage of every single Apple TV subscription sold, because Apple TV has the streaming rights. Like, he is going to own an MLS team after he retires. He's going to become an owner of a new MLS team. Like, he is single-handedly the most, like, I don't know, perked up athlete of all time. Like, he has gotten every single bit of the American red carpet. Like, if they're not flying a chartered plane, like, he is getting the private jet to himself that he can fly to every single game. But yeah, no, like in the NBA, it's just that same fact. And the answer is not fucking putting rules on like holding people out of games, healthy scratches and shit. It's negotiating the length of the season, like the amount of games that you play in a year. Like, I know that there's money at stake, and that a lot of NBA teams,
they want more games. Like they want more games. They want more tickets. They want more ads. Like they're not going to shorten the season. They just won't.
But that's the only way. Like that is the only way to solve this problem. Putting in rules, people will get around it. Oh, he's got a quad irritation. Like, oh, he's got this and that. Like, it's never going to happen. The only way to do it is to talk to the Players Association and be like, realistically, how many days between games? And then look, how many games can we then fit into the same time frame season? Elongate the season. There's no reason the NBA has to end in June. It could fucking end in August. Like, yeah, you probably want to avoid football, I imagine. Like, if you can do that and have as little crossover with football as possible, fair enough. But like, there's other ways around it, and it's so weird that they're like, no, we'll put in these arbitrary rules that totally won't be able to be circumvented.
And all-star players, like who draws that line? Does it only count after the all-star break and the all-star players have been named and part of the roster? Like, what about guys that are like, stars or like, really important to their team, but they don't make the all-star roster? Can they sit as much as they fucking want? Like, why does Giannis have to be held to a standard, but like Drew maybe doesn't, because he didn't quite crack the all-star roster that year?
Then
are they going to put in something like if they've ever been on an all-star team, or like
they've done shit like that before? That's how like the Supermax works. Like Supermax contracts can only be handed out to all NBA players. Like, it's the same concept.
Yeah, but it's like doesn't happen during the game. Like contracts are like a separate thing. Like they look at like statistics and like yeah, like having like all-star roster membership as part of your contract level makes sense because it's not something that affects how often you play.
Which is why I thought that this might be a conspiracy. This might be partially motivated by the upcoming contracts because, yeah, if our all-star status is at least partially determined by fan vote or whatever, then, yeah, these are the players that people are showing up to games, are tuning into games to watch. And if there is a stipulation that, hey, these players are more than likely to be wildly more than likely to be playing in any given game, that's more people are going to show up for that, and that's more money for networks and for the NBA potentially.
Like Tyrese Halliburton and fucking Domantas Sabonis, those are very good and very important players on their teams, but like fucking Zion Williamson and James Harden and shit like that, like
I think
those are the guys that people will show up to see, even if they're not as good or as important to their teams. Like it's all fans. Like that's the reason they would do it.
I think there's a Warriors player who, like, a big part of why he's an all-star is because a K-pop star really likes him and like convinced all of his fans to vote for. I remember hearing that, but that might be.
Are you talking about? Is it Jordan Poole?
Maybe,
because last year Jordan Poole made the All-Star game and he was an All-Star starter and people were like, what the fuck? But he was like genuinely an All-Star. I think he just got elevated to All-Star starter. I mean, like like Steph Curry is the only other All-Star, and he's obviously Steph.
Oh, are you talking about Andrew Wiggins?
Oh yeah, Wiggins too. I forgot about Wiggins. No, but Wiggins was another one where he like genuinely deserved it, and yeah, like they elevated him a little bit, but yeah, that was wild.
Okay, I think it is Jordan Poole. I think I don't know if this is like in the press friends.
I'm reading the article. It was Andrew Wiggins.
Oh,
that got boost from global ambassador Bam Bam, K-pop star, gives Andrew Wiggins all-star bid a major boost by telling his fans to vote for him.
I mean, like NBA teams are not publicly traded corporations. There's no reason that they have to make more money than they used to. So it's not the same pressures as like a normal corporation where it's like we literally can't make less money or the company will cease to exist. Like they can choose to make a little less money. And in theory, they're not going to make less money. They're just going to grow slower than they would have otherwise and reduce the amount of games in an NBA season so that the players are all happy. Everyone plays every single game. No fucking NBA fans are tuning into all 82 games in the season. Like you are full-blown addict status if you are watching every single one of your team's games.
No, likely a gambling addiction. Likely you are putting money on every single game and a freak like that.
Yeah, like that's just, it's fine. If you cut it to 60 games and it means that the superstars play every game, no one will be upset. Everyone wins in that scenario, except for you make a little less money. But like, let's be honest, the playoffs are where you make most of your money anyway, and no one's fucking sitting out a playoff game, so you're good to go. 60 games is still enough to decide who the top 16 teams are, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Finish the season, and everyone will watch, and it'll be great. But they refuse.
Speaking of games, as we move into the group chat, Packers put up a dub with a lot of asterisks against the Saints. Man, does that dub feel good, though.
That's a win.
I don't think that's asterisk.
No asterisk.
What's the asterisk?
Because Derek Carr got hurt?
Yeah.
Or
we lost all of our best players.
Yeah. Also, Derek Carr was not like dominating the game. The Saints offense scored 10 points that game. That was it.
They definitely took a huge step back once Derek Carr left the field. That's fair to say.
A lot of pass interference calls contributed to that first comeback
Those were all
touchdown.
Legit pass interference.
Yeah, those were real pass interferences.
Nobody was like, "Oh, it's a little iffy." Like those.
It was because Jordan Love made a bad throw. Like Jordan Love is underthrowing a lot of those deep balls, which are drawing pass interferences. So I guess it's an effective play, but It's not a great play in general.
I saw some people talking about how like he was doing that on purpose.
No, fuck you.
He overthrew a couple of people
Yeah,
too.
he did.
Was that on purpose?
No, he's having some serious connection issues, and I don't know if it's an accuracy issue or not being on the same page. But
there's a couple. Like there was the one, the fourth and what was it, 4th and goal, or was it like 4th and 1? But we were like on the goal line. Like to was it Patrick Taylor or was
Patrick Taylor?
That was a miscommunication. 100%.
Patrick Taylor ran the wrong route.
Right, but the fucking his placement is off. Like even when he throws catchable balls, they're not on the money until the 4th quarter. Like that entire game, every single reception, the ball was not in the right spot. Like it would always be slightly off, or even sometimes like way off. But then the 4th quarter, he dialed it in and actually made like a string of like right on the fucking money throws. And it was like, that's where the ball has to be. And we were spoiled by Aaron Rodgers that literally 90% of throws were perfect. It felt like Aaron Rodgers either like utterly missed by like a mile, like 10% of the time. And then every other throw was fucking perfect. Like Jordan Love is more like a healthy split of like, 40% are on the money. 30% are easily catchable, 10% tough catches, and then 10% like utter garbage misses. Like, it's
you take the good with the bad.
We're missing our literal like 6 best players.
Yes.
We're not playing. Like I think that at the very least evens out with the Saints injury to their starting quarterback. Like to be missing our best running back, our best wide receiver, our entire left side of the offensive line, which is our best offensive lineman.
Yeah, the 2 best linemen are
our best
the left
corner,
side.
Who's probably our just overall best player, our corner, our best middle linebacker. Like it was a fucking nightmare.
And one more thing, I want to attribute this to Love, and I understand this is more typical for quarterbacks, younger quarterbacks especially. I'm just so not used to it. Being familiar with Rodgers in the later stages of his career, fuck, Love looks good when he just decides I'm going to run for a first down on this one. Don't like what I'm seeing out there.
Yeah, he's got juice. He's a young guy.
He's also got fucking poise. The man doesn't get panicked, which I love. Like that's what I feel like is the biggest issue for guys like Justin Fields and shit like that. Like they start to panic when that pressure's coming. Jordan Love, like even when he's taking a sack, even when he's doing, like he's almost always in control. There was the one sack I remember where he ran backwards and ran out of field goal range. That was like, Jesus Christ, that was rough. Like he definitely should have just taken the sack right away. But almost every time he has a plan in mind. And even if it doesn't work, it's like there is a plan. He's not just panic mode trying to do something. It's like, I'm going to scramble to the right, find this target across my body. If he's not there, I'll try to run for a first down. And if I don't get it, I'll throw it away. Like it's controlled, which I love.
He's making all of the right decisions. And like, his ball placement has been off sometimes. And like, he's overthrowing guys. He's like clearly miscommunicating like something, but he is finding the right person to throw to and throwing to them at the right time. It's not always like putting it where it's supposed to go, but that's a real good fucking sign.
Right. The stereotype is like, you can't teach like athletics and everything like that. And like, we'll coach him up and he'll be able to make decisions. But like history has proven that like, if a guy doesn't have it by like the end of his first year or two, he's just not going to get it. Like the speed of the game is too fast for him. And he's just never going to develop that NFL level decision making. So like, I'm fine where he's at because he came out of college as like a guy that was like, damn, he's a gem, like he can huck that pigskin, but like, who knows if he can do it at the NFL level. And like, it's clear that his decision making is fucking there. And now it's just a matter of fine tuning the accuracy and everything like that. And if he never gets it, oh, well, like he's still going to be better than a lot of people.
Not everyone was talking about it though. He's also making some wackadoodle throws like across his body. The 2-point conversion.
The 2-point conversion was crazy play.
He was like diving to the right, both feet off the ground, throwing across his body. Perfect dot. Like
on the money. Best throw of his career by far. Like That's the throw that every Packer fan should be looking at as like a whoa.
Ooh.
What was that? And it's like in a situation again where it's the right decision. If he did that on fucking 2nd and 3, it would be like, what the actual fuck are you doing? This is a 2-point conversion. It's fucking all or nothing. Like, lay it on the line, make a shot, like take the shot. If they intercept it, like you fucking tried, you can't hate it. Like that's the perfect decision. And guess what? Like you drilled it. Like it was as good of a throw as you can possibly make in that scenario. It was impressive. And yeah, to watch a read option rushing touchdown, I genuinely don't think a Packers quarterback has ever scored on a read option before. Like Aaron Rodgers refused to run the read option. He would run designed QB runs like when he was younger, but like the read option hadn't really come around to the NFL as like when he was really mobile. And by the time like it was popularized with like Cam Newton and shit like that, he was over it. Like he was not going to be running many designed QB runs. Like and Brett Favre fucking obviously didn't. Like I don't know that the read option was invented when Brett Favre was in the NFL. Like so it's that was cool. I liked that. And he juked a guy out like fucking Aaron Rodgers would never. Scott Tolzien once spun a guy out. I remember that. That was legendary in his brief time as a Packers starter.
Well, I might get the exact terminology inaccurate here, but boy, would we have a wildly different conversation about the play calling if that last corner fade hadn't hit for the touchdown.
Yeah, that was like the 6th one that he tried. The first 5 did not work.
It was Isaac Yiadom. Like we knew him. He was our guy.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur went like, that dude's shit. Like we got a scrub. Like, I feel really bad because Isaac Yiadom like was like, this is personal, man. Like they're just going after me every play. Like I was on their team. They literally think I'm dog shit. Like they're like, this dude can't cover anything.
It's like, I know these people's names. They know my name. Like this, yeah.
If we throw it at him enough, he's gonna fuck it up. Like there's no way he can keep doing it.
Dude, but like again, 5 times he had like we threw at him that end zone fade 5 times, and I think we threw at Marshawn Lattimore like 1. Obviously, that one didn't work. He kept 4 of them out of the end zone. Like he put up a fucking fight.
There was a couple of those that weren't great throws. There was a couple of them where like the receiver wasn't in the right position. Like I think he maybe broke up one of them. Like it wasn't. He did his best. I'm not shitting on him, but like I wouldn't attribute it to good coverage so much as that was our wide receiver 2 in a wide receiver core that has been much maligned all year long.
Yeah.
And a not rookie quarterback, but first-year starter quarterback. And also, by the way, the read option was discovered in 1992.
Okay.
That's the first time and it was by accident. A quarterback fumbled the snap on a handoff, and so he didn't really have the ball yet. And so the defender went to crack down on the running back, like while he was still trying to hand it off. So he went, oops, and pulled it out and then ran with it. And then he gained like 10 yards. And the coach was like, wait. You just did something there. What if
we all intentional?
Yeah. My dead mother taught me a new way to get a first down.
It's the alley-oop. Like, and it's the same thing with the RPO. Like, apparently, fucking Alex Smith accidentally invented that in college because he was just like, oh fuck, the handoff fucked up. Oh wait, he's open, and like threw it to him, and everyone was like, oh, we could do that, can't we? Okay.
And well, I will say that it feels infinitely unquantifiably, I don't know, better to be 2-1 versus 1-2. Boy, Thursday's game against the Lions is going to be a flashpoint for maybe what the rest of the season is going to look like.
No expectations. I'm playing with house money already.
Let's get fucking weird with it. Yeah.
Jordan Love has already looked better than I expected. He is approaching the best I thought he could become. Like he is already near like what I thought, like my wildest dreams.
Time to punch through the ceiling, bud.
Maybe. I don't know. I said it would be funny if Jordan Love was like an all-pro guy. But like my highest expectations was like really solid starter with potential to be like a Pro Bowl type guy. Like that was my absolute highest, and he's clearly like pretty damn close to that already, which is insane. That's bullshit.
It sounds paradoxical, but it's not. This is the lowest expectations I've had going into a Packers season in a while, but also the most fun and exciting Packers season I've felt like 3 games into the season so far. So,
Did you guys see the clip of him going off the field?
No.
If you didn't, I need to send it to you because it made me want to cry.
He's like flexing and
he's like pumping the fucking crowd up.
Yeah.
Everyone's still there. All of Lambeau Field is still there cheering.
Yeah.
And he's running off the field, fucking firing everyone up. And I'm like, oh shit. He's like, if Jordan Love somehow miraculously becomes our 3rd fucking Hall of Fame quarterback in a row, like that's going to be in his documentary, like his first home start, pulling off a 17-point fourth quarter comeback and the entire crowd sticking around to cheer him off. Like that's going to be it. That's how the documentary will start. Like, so I don't know, man. The entire NFC North wanted to kill themselves in the Reddit thread of that clip. Like,
they got a guy.
What the actual fuck? This is bullshit. I hate the Packers, FTP. And it's like, yes, your tears.
Oh,
yum,
salty
yum,
tears.
Oh, it's so delicious. And then I saw a lot of Lions fans getting a little big for their britches. So maybe I'm not as pro Lion as I've always been. Like a little Lion fan, like, oh yeah, we're clearly still the favorites though. Like the Packers have looked like shit. And it's like, all right, Lions. Like,
okay.
Look, I have low expectations, but if history is any sort of indication whatsoever, like I don't think you should be getting too high and mighty here. Like I think we should be in the same boat of like, woo, we're cautiously optimistic.
We're doing pretty good.
Let's see where this goes.
I mean, like the fucking Bears are maybe one of the worst iterations of the Bears team that I've ever seen. Yeah. And they lost 14 games in a row last year.
Yeah.
Oh God, they're so fucking bad. And like they're in utter pandemonium. Like their defensive coordinator just quit. He was like, oh man, I can't do this shit. He just like fucking quit.
I think it was some stuff came out about that this morning, right? It was
was there
a harassment investigation that was being handled by the Bears, like contradicting previous reports that said that the Bears organization had no part.
I'm looking at the Bears schedule right now, and like, yeah, if they don't beat the Broncos on Sunday, I don't see where they get a win in their schedule.
Have you seen that? There's 4 0-3 teams right now. They play each other next week.
Yeah.
Like the Bears and the Broncos play each other in the we got our shit rocked last week bowl. And then I'm trying to remember who the other
the Vikings are 0-3.
That's right.
I know.
Yeah. They're in our division.
Yeah, the Vikings are, they're not like, worst team in the NFL tier in terms of like their caliber of team.
Vikings will probably be at least 6-11.
They'll win some games, but like they're in a bad spot. Like
boy.
Oh, and it's the Panthers. Vikings play the Panthers.
Okay.
The Bengals have the potential to go 0-3. I haven't checked on that game yet.
I think they're up right now by like
they are winning, but like it's 4 points in the third. Like anything can happen. So we're gonna see.
We have all also seen the new Rick and Morty trailer.
Yeah.
Maybe I was watching this kind of distractedly the first time around, but I didn't notice that they replaced Roiland for the roles of Rick and Morty.
They definitely did for this season, right?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
Guaranteed?
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't think they've announced who they are yet. I mean, they did say that like we're just going to cast people that can do the voice. Like they're trying to find like the closest thing to the voice. I'm assuming it's 2 different people. I think it'd be like really crazy to find one person that can do both so spot on.
Right.
Morty's I thought was like 100%. Rick was like just slightly different, like maybe a little more gravelly, but yeah, really, really fucking close.
Rick season 1 compared to like recent seasons, Rick is already
different. Yeah,
like they're
crazy different. Like not even close.
Do you think they like? any chance that these are like voice actors that are getting the voice really close and then they're like altering them with like some sort of AI shit to make it sound
AI
closer?
Yeah.
No, I don't think AI shit. I think just like basic mixing and shit like that. Like
Okay.
if you have to adjust the pitch or the timbre just ever so slightly, like 100% they're doing that.
They were always going to find people to be able to do Rick and Morty impressions. The challenge was if they
Yeah,
would
Elon
find people
Musk.
who can also act.
Yeah, they need to be performers. They need to
Right.
be actual accomplished voice actors. Like
Ah.
a lot of people can do the impression. Voice acting is not just sounding like a character. You have to deliver performances and shit like that. Like there is some genuine moments in the show, and if it was just butchered by someone reading a line with no inflection whatsoever, it'd be like, all right, well, the show isn't even there anymore. Why does it even exist?
Rick and Morty trailers have, as a rule now, been weird and maybe a little indecipherable, but hey, this looks like another season of Rick and Morty and potentially a good one. I don't know.
Are either of you guys checking out Crepopolis?
I intend to. I've not
Yeah.
watched any yet. Is it out?
Same. It came out yesterday, or premiered yesterday, so it's probably
What is it?
on something. It's Dan Harmon's new animated show on Fox. It's about like Greek gods and regular people all trying to coexist. It got actually pretty good reviews, and I mean, Dan Harmon's never made anything that I wasn't a fan of, so
This
feels like there's a decent chance it'll be good.
This feels like a show that it will either get like pretty solid widescreen widespread critical acclaim. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. And I'll end up watching it, binging through it with my partner, or I'm gonna wait for this to get like 3 episodes out at a time, and then I catch up on it, watching all 3 episodes in like a meal I have by myself due to whatever like this is about to be my American Dad, potentially. Not to say that I'm not still all in on American Dad, because I am.
I saw the clip. It went viral. Oh wait, no. No, it was the fucking clip. Duh. No, it wasn't. Shit.
What?
It was a different
about?
American Dad clip. You sent the American Dad clip
Yeah.
of the Roger slap thing, which is I feel like very mainstream American Dad meme.
Yes.
It was a different meme. It was
Stelio Cantos?
Yeah, Stelio Cantos.
Yeah.
And I saw Stelio Cantos and I was like, I don't know that I've ever seen the context of that meme. And I went back and watched the entire clip, and it's pretty fucking gold. Like that is a genuine funny show. I don't think I have it in me to watch an episode week in, week out. Like it was fun when I would catch random episodes here and there. I definitely always remember the Vietnam War reenactor.
Yeah.
That's fucking gold. Like that. Just solid gold.
You in Vietnam, bitches.
The concept is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine?
Fucking
imagine.
Keep the knife in the sheath so it doesn't get dull. Put the cap on so it doesn't dry out. Pine cones are grenades in this simulation. Oh, okay.
The golf carts with the cardboard like rotors. They're just making noises. But he's got the full flight helmet on and shit like that. Oh, dude, it's so perfect. Just the concept. They didn't even need to make an episode. Just making a concept of, you've heard of Civil War reenactors. What if they had Vietnam War reenactors? It's so fucked up.
We were in the Mekong. I don't even know how long. just
need to rewatch that episode.
They're just like in a water trap.
Yeah, it's on the golf course. That's the best part. But no, like, can you imagine? Like, it's Civil War reenacting is like fucking weird.
Yeah,
I don't know when it became a thing, but now you add the layer of just like a not like noble cause myth war, like just boy, it was really fucked up that we were even there in the first place, and then the shit that went on in that thing,
the
like,
conditions were
so
hell,
much
the
worse.
atrocities.
And then you just get people like pretending.
Like, this is a fun way to spend a weekend.
We do this once a year. We all get together. Fucking. Oh, I don't know. Whoever thought of that, I need to. I want to shake their hand, buy them a beer. Because people don't talk enough about how Civil War reenacting is fucking weird.
No,
man.
Yeah.
My high school drama teacher, like, he wasn't a drama teacher, but like that, he was the guy who ran the drama stuff. Like, he was into Civil War reenacting, and I remember like we did a school field trip going out there, and it was the lamest shit, dude. It was so bad. We thought it was going to be like we're watching a battle unfold, and no, it's like, here's what they did to take care of the horses, and oh, you guys ever seen a musket? How the muzzle loader works? Like, oh, flintlock. And it's just like, what the fuck?
Did they actually shoot off a musket in front of you?
Well, it's powder. Like, there's no ball. They
didn't put the ball in it. Yeah.
Weak shit. Oh,
it's the same thing, except for the ball doesn't come out. Like,
they point them at people. Like the if they do battle parts, they're like, all right, so we got 10 guys. You all know your part. It's like all scripted. Like, you're gonna go up on this hill and you're gonna shoot your gun off once, and then 3 of the people in that other group are gonna fall down.
Yeah,
and then you're gonna like advance, and
it's WWE shit. But no, like, it's the thing with like the muzzle loaders and the flintlock and shit is that it is firing. Like, it's just, there's no, like, if you were to pull the trigger on a modern gun with no bullets in it, literally nothing would happen. But like, it makes the same noise, the same explosion happens. Like, it's exactly the same. It's just
someone on the other end doesn't lose a leg. Yeah.
Yeah, they had fucking like a first aid station, and they're like, look, they tourniquet the wounds and like cut off limbs and shit, and we're all just like sitting there. It's hot as shit. Like, it was like 90 degrees.
They always choose the hottest days to wear those big ass cotton uniforms and drag everyone out.
They did a horse demonstration. They didn't even have like any sort of battle at all. They were just a dude in the cotton uniform riding a horse. And like, the only thing I remember is that the horse had so much foam building up in its like leg pits, from the sweat, that it looked like it had problems. Like, it looked like it got like in a cartoon when a character gets out of the shower and there's bubbles coating parts of their body. Like, it was coated in foam from all the friction rubbing on the sweat. Like, it was weird. I've never seen that before.
Lucas, you and I both grew up in the Fox Valley. Like, Ryan, I don't know if you were like close enough to like go every so often, but like, you ever been to EAA?
I've heard of it, but no, I never went.
So like, EAA, huge like airplane convention that's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin every year. Like, thousands and thousands and thousands of planes fly in during this like week-long period every year from like all over the world. It's crazy. It's a fun time, but it is just a relatively small airport in the middle of Wisconsin filled with tons of planes and military guys that are like promoting the Air Force and shit like that. But there's also a group of people that do like this World War II air base cosplay, basically, where they set up a mini air base. There's like a mess tent and an officer's quarters, and like people, like everyone's dressed up and in character the whole fucking time. And you'll walk through and like people are like playing cards and like smoking cigarettes, and then they're like, you ever think we'll get orders to fly out to the big show and shit like that for like a fucking.
They're doing like the transatlantic accent, the fake accent that never existed. Just like, hey, did you ever hear how the Krauts, they're coming for us? It's just like,
I got more hours in old Phyllis than blah 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 blah. Just
I'm from Brooklyn. Some Wisconsinites idea of fucking New York guy. My character's from New York. Like,
and then like they at cringe. Night they walk around in their bomber jackets and their sunglasses, and they like hit on like these women that are also dressed
also
up
in it.
Like also in on it, and it's so fucking weird.
Are any of them age appropriate? Are any of them actually in like their early to mid 20s, which all the pilots would be?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Okay, then fair.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if that person was 30 or 22 or like fucking
but
whatever.
30 is still not weird. I assume they were all in like their 50s.
There are plenty of those though. And I think for the most part they just dress them up like officers.
Okay, but they hide it.
Yeah.
Are they paying these people?
I doubt it. Like,
I don't know that you could pay.
This
me to do
isn't
that
like an
for a
EAA
weekend.
show thing. Like, this is a group of people that get
Mhm.
together to do this every year.
Who in their fucking 20s or early 30s though is sacrificing their weekend to do that shit? Because I
Ryan,
want to check them in somewhere.
let me answer your question with another question. How many kids did you know in high school that like knew a lot about World War II planes?
I knew a lot about World War II planes. I'd literally rather die than do that.
It's just, some of those kids though think like they don't grow out of it. They still think that
I didn't grow
awesome.
out of it. I still think World War II planes are fucking lit.
Yeah, like everyone's talking about the whole how often do you think about the Roman Empire thing. I
Yeah.
really need women on TikTok to start asking
How
their
often
guys,
do you think about World War II?
Yeah. Like, no, not just World War II, specifically World War II planes. Like
Yeah.
there's a very different kind of fucking weirdo that's like, yeah, man, I like the P-51 Mustang, and guys that are like, I loved the Tiger tank.
The
Andrew,
Messerschmitt. Come on.
Andrew, as we have previously established on this podcast, you would have done great in World War II, man.
No, we established the opposite.
You would have done great.
You would have nailed it. You would have killed so many people that were maybe not morally culpable, but maybe were. Like, maybe we're actually like complacent in this whole thing. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. That's I never got into the Roman Empire shit. So yeah, I'm like I'm on this trend, like I barely think about it at all. Like
I think about it a little.
Is the phalanx a cool military thing? Kinda, but also wildly ineffective outside of specific situations.
I just missed it, I guess. It was never that interesting to me. I was always way more interested in US history. So anything pre-Civil War, honestly, was like, I don't really care.
Cool.
Revolutionary War shit, nah. My mom listens to this podcast, so she'll probably correct me, by the way, if I did actually see EAA when I was like 6. She's like, you loved it. You loved all these planes. So we'll see.
We will see.
If I am just wrong.
But in part due to this podcast getting a little long and me having to pee, I think we're going to end it there. Thank you all for tuning into episode 234 of the Voluntary Viewing podcast, titled What Entree Pairs Best with Iced Milk. If you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, etc., check us out Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Highlight clips. Support us on Patreon and join the likes of Tiffany Cole and Sucky Badger. Send us your questions, business opportunities, voluntaryviewing@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter for updates at D2_podcast. And follow me, Lucas the Writer, on Blue Sky or Twitter. Probably Blue Sky. I can hook you up if you need to get on Blue Sky. Hope you all enjoyed what you heard, and best of luck in the week ahead. Goodbye.